Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, 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 beautiful hearts. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really looking forward to our show today. And it's interesting because this is all about activating our senses, activating our clairs. As we are developing psionics, my guest today says that these are sacred senses. Zeenat Lakdawala is with us, and she is a beautiful teacher of artwork and light language. Let's meet Zeenat. Hi, Zeenat. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be with you in the community. God bless you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Well, the work that you do on this planet is incredible. You are tireless in your efforts. I want to say that you are in India, and right now it's midnight. That to me is so amazing. And yet you show up in such a brilliant, bright way, always in all ways. And this I attribute to you activating the light within your body. And that's what we're going to talk about again today is these senses. So as we begin, can you share your story of developing your own psionics, your own clairs, your own abilities? What was that like for you?
So I actually, Lauren, believe that we have all the clairs activated within us when
Nice.
we are born. It's through the journey of from birth to our, you can say, the age when we start speaking, is when our clairs take a little backseat. And then a lot of environment and people, they start giving their point of view and judgment about us, and that's where we start losing the connection. So every one of us have the clairs all activated when we are born in the most sentient of manner. In our birth, we bring all our knowledge, all our gifts, all our understanding, and every mission possible that is required is inbuilt within us. But when we enter into the space of duality, we tend to forget. And when we start speaking, when we start using communication, is when we start imbibing into the world and they are nurturing towards us. And that's when we start forgetting or we don't remember anything. So when I was a little child, I remember speaking the light language, and it came to me in one of the session that I was doing, and I had this. You can say, "Oh my God, I had spoken this before," and I remembered very distinctly that I was returning home from my school, and I was kind of a low. I didn't have many friends. I couldn't adjust to having people around me. So I had very few friends. And I remember I was alone walking home and I was speaking the language of light. I didn't know it was the language of light, but it was so expressive that it opened my heart. And when I realized I did that, and when I could speak the language, and I was then told that, are you crazy? What are you speaking? Speak English, because English has not been my very strong language to speak and communicate, nor is my Indian languages. I'm not very strong in the languages. And when I spoke the language of light, it was very easy for me. So, and I also realized during that young age that I could see things which I thought others would also see. And I could understand things which I then thought that even people understood it similarly. So I was, my claircognizance, my clairaudience, my clairvoyance was already active when I was at a very young age. And then, because I was put into the belief system that I'm not good enough, and I also felt I was not good enough. And I realized that this is not something that people do around me. They don't speak this language. They don't say the things that I can see and I can understand. And that's where I can say I forgot. And 12 years ago, when I really got into 2008, if I have to be very precise, is the year when I decided to go very deep into myself to find out what is it that I need to look at, because I already felt that I've hit rock bottom. And I also knew that hitting rock bottom only meant that I have to climb up, because I had decided that there is no other way. And so I told myself that let me try something different. Let me see what is this going to be different. And if I don't succeed in this different, I can always go back to doing what I was doing. And that's when my journey actually began, with me healing myself, healing my heart, a lot of energy on my heart, healing my throat, healing my third eye, and then slowly and gradually becoming more and more aware. I think the biggest journey for all of us is when we are in the awareness, we remember faster. And after that, when I left my corporate work, I was in corporate for almost 15 years of my life. And the day I left, it was a pleasant bye bye with the corporate world. I didn't have to struggle because it was taken care of. Because when I decided that I'm not going to go anymore into doing the corporate way of living, and I was told that I have to be I'm a channeler and I need to express and I need to write and I need to speak. And when I decided that this is going to be my path, and I went to the shrine from where I got my guidance, I knew that there is no turning back. There is no way I am going back to doing what I was doing, because something within me had awakened. And it's been a journey. It is still a journey, because every day I work with myself, I work to expand myself. And over the years, and in last 2 years, when I have done a lot of galactic traveling and galactic work, I have been given this insight that where I come from is not even on this cosmos, and I come from a different cosmos altogether. And that is one of the reason why I would feel, and I intend to feel, I don't belong to this earth, but I have a work on this earth and I need to do that. And in order to do that, I need to keep tapping into my energy system that connects me to my home system to do the work for everyone here. And that's in a nutshell about a little journey about myself to you.
Wow, you are truly galactic.
Thank
And
you.
we love that story. And our next summit series is going to be on galactic beings. So we'll
Wow.
bring you for that. Yeah. So, all right, that's fascinating. What I absolutely love about your story, Zeenat, is that wow,
Your
as a
throat is
child,
getting clearer.
wow, perhaps I'm being activated here.
Yes, you are.
Ooh, as a child. Wow, that's the throat chakra. I find that fascinating. You are galactic in so many ways. Wow, hold on a moment. Wow. Okay. So, as I was saying, what I love about your story, you would just naturally go into light language, and that is part of your clairs being online, part of your connection to your home in the other cosmos where you're from. And wow. Ooh,
Would it be okay
the
if I
light
do some
language.
clearing for you?
What's that?
I said, would you like me to do some clearing for you?
Perhaps. Absolutely. Please do. Oh my goodness. And it's for all of us because maybe others are experiencing this too. Frightening.
Biyakalala ni talahi shlayata tiyata sisalali tiyata rupatalara. Miyalan kitu yata pilahi tatiti silati tisitili tili tila tulute katalata. Muyana na miyuna la menala rikitulu ruputura. So the energy is saying that trust your intuition, trust yourself, trust your speech, trust your cognizance. Kaliyatulali yanona yala la palati kitulu lukutanata. Malaliyatulu lukuta, and the ability that you hold to keep everyone intact. Turiyatalapiyatunumatelilukutala, Asiyotalayata Shilayatono Kutalarata, Isabayatalara Pera Ludisis Latinakata. And as you disengage from the lower to the engage to the higher. There is a lot of shift that is taking place in your throat area, in your thorax area. And actually the beings who are right now with us, and there's so many of them with us today, uh, they are actually in gratitude for what you do. And the energy that you bring together to bring the community and to bring in what is most required. And so they are activating further your audio, the speech, the toolbox of yours. So I hope you feel better now.
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you. There are no mistakes, there are no accidents, and that was all in divine timing. Thank you for that, and thank you for those beautiful beings who are assisting all of us at this time. Okay, yes, I feel wonderful. So this is where we go with the flow and we surrender. And there was that reason that I was interrupted there. So thank you again. So I'll say that I found it really fascinating that the light language soothed you as a child. Like
Yeah.
you naturally had it. As you were saying, we're all born with it. And that
Yes.
when we start to speak, we begin to lose it. But yet here you were always speaking light language in such a beautiful way, and you didn't speak English and your native language so well. I just, again, think that really is fascinating. So when you brought it online after going through rock bottom, some would say that's also dark night of the soul. You made a choice. And so coming back into your knowingness is really where you embraced your own intuition and you embraced the totality of you. Isn't that remarkable? And yet you had to step away from the corporate job. Was that difficult? Or did you have any apprehension of that?
It wasn't easy. I wouldn't say it was easy because we are brought up in a certain manner, and a corporate gives you an identity. Every job gives you an identity. So my
Mhm.
identity was I was marketing, and I was taking care of, in my last job, I was taking care of sales and marketing, and I was heading the whole of India. So so people look at you as head of something, and also you are accustomed to having a certain kind of a remuneration that comes to you through the job that you do, and that is like it's assurance. And that is where the biggest challenge was, to break the fear and to trust, because I am not going to be having a bank account that will be furbished every month with a particular amount of money every month on month. And that was where I had to break down the identity. I had to break down the sense of that this is okay, I won't be getting this, and I have to still go with this, what I'm going to be doing. And so that was a kind of challenge. But prior to that, I had already started my journey, and I so dropping that facade became a little easy. And I was throughout, and I'm so grateful that through my journey till now, I am supported with the right people that show up in my space, right information that comes in my space. And so I was prepared to drop my identity. I was prepared, and I worked on dropping my identity, and trusting. And I was gifted workshops. I was working with people who were helping me to tap into myself, and I went all for it. Like when I took a sabbatical before my last job of 6 months, I was only working on myself 24 by 7. And I worked for 6 months diligently, because I knew this is the way, or I'll go back to doing what I was doing. So when I decided that this is going to be my way, and I have to, because I was exhausted of being that, and it was not helping me in any manner. It was not helping me emotionally, it was not helping me mentally. And definitely I was, it's not that I don't believe in a religion, but I was not even following my own religion. So I was not even attached to anything. So it was like, I just knew that this is it. This is going to be the way where I'm going to excel. And yes, that's how it turned out to be. In fact, it favored me. And when I left my corporate job, I was, the way my entire community embraced me, and also my corporate people, they were so worried about me, that what will she do, how will she survive. But I just had only smiles on my face, because I knew this is the part of my journey which is planned not by me. And I had to go through what I had to go through to have arrived here. So it's all good.
Yes, it's all good. And there's such freedom in it as well, isn't there? So, that word that you used, trust, is so important in all of this. And better yet, you are tapping into that inner knowingness, like you knew beyond a level of trust. Trust helped you get there, but you knew that this was the right thing. Because there's something about that
Yeah,
exhaustion in the other world, that unhappiness, the grind, let's call it. And even though right now it's midnight where you are and we're recording this, oh my gosh, you're not exhausted from that because you're doing what you are meant to do. And when that happens, we are fueled by the passion. Would you agree?
absolutely. It just brings in a certain, I think, the way we would describe, in the lack of any other word, satisfaction, or I would say it just feels good. That's the word
Yeah.
that comes up, that feels good. I don't feel pressure doing it. I don't feel, oh my
Right.
God, I have to get onto this call. I just was looking forward to this call. And
That's
I
the
was
shift.
actually, I came half an hour, even 1 hour before the call, because I thought,
Oh,
I must be on time. And I was 1 hour before the call. So I was integrating myself, I was sitting through it, and I was shown so many things while I was just waiting for us to begin our conversation.
oh my goodness, what a trooper of light that you are. Thank you for that. This is just, you're a beautiful example of the freedom that comes by living your passion and your mission when we're working towards New Earth. So here we are, the light language that you bring forward activate the New Earth codes. So when we're talking about innate abilities within each of us, where do we begin? Does it begin with intuition, which I would say is tied into our clairs, the clairaudience, clairvoyance? Where would you begin to say that we start? Where do we start on this journey of reawakening the clairs or embracing them again?
I think the first place that I would look at is at the level of fears and the belief system that we hold on to. Uh, so there is a story that I'm being told to relay to you. So when when Anunnakis came onto this planet for the search of metal and the metal that was available on this earth, they decided to, I would say, they decided to be here to for their advantage, and the climate over here was soothing and was appropriate for them. And they just wanted to take in the wealth, what was they were looking for, and they needed people to bring it out. And therefore, with their genesis and their capability, humanoids were created. The only thing that they did with the humanoids was, because they are such superior beings, the Anunnakis are very superior, advanced beings of light. Although they have their own, you can say, good and bad, everyone has that aspect of them. What they did was that when they created the humanoids, they decided that they will not give full access to this human. So they created our genesis without putting in the exact codes. And the biggest thing that they locked was of us was our ability to do and to believe and to tap into for our higher ascension. And over a period of millions of years, they saw that as time was passing, this humanoid was becoming more aware, and therefore, at one point, they had to leave Earth, but they decided not to open us because then we would ascend without working. And as the story goes on, and as I see, and that's what I was doing when waiting for you when they were showing me this, is that when humans are stuck when we are stuck with fear, we do not accelerate. And for every acceleration, the fear, which is the base, has to be opened up and dissolved. And over centuries and centuries and centuries and reincarnations, we come back releasing some amount of our fear. And we go back, and then we come back, and then we go and we come. So the biggest point where I would begin the work would be to release the fear and the belief system. And if you see, whether we are a democratic country or a world, we still have so much of slavery. We have still so much of lower energies that are driving us. Even though we have a new earth that is birthing, we still at some level are in that old metrics, in old quantum. We are not excelling in that. And I feel that when we start releasing, I do not use the word releasing that often now, but I use the word is dissolving, because it's, if you release, you can get it back. But when you dissolve, it is evaporates and it moves into the ether. So when we start dissolving the fear, when we start dissolving the insecurities, and we fill that with trust, and allow ourselves to remember, I think from there is where the energy starts building upwards. And we already have it's an awakened being we are. It's just that because our lower energies keep us trapped and we cannot access the above. So that's how I would look at.
That is really fascinating. So one of the questions that come up for me with the Anunnaki, it's not clear, or maybe it is. Why would they do that to the humanoid? Why would they want us detached in that way? To control us?
Yes.
To keep
The
us from
key word,
ascending?
yes, because we were, you can say we were the tool, or rather, I would say the humans that were created were the tools for their means. And
Okay.
therefore, they only needed the humanoids to only do that much that they wanted of them. Anything above would have got them in power with them, and that was not the thing scenario that they were looking for.
Okay. All right. So fast forward to today and the powers that are still controlling the majority of this planet. Is it tied to the Anunnaki, or has it been replaced by other beings?
So there are Anunnakis, and then there are the Draconians. And
Draconians.
Draconians, they say, as ito Asia, ito Nemalaraka. And the Draconians, as they say, ran into the deeper earth, in the underground of the earth. And their energy that also holds us, and they keep us entangled with our wants and desires. And if you see, when we say want, I want this, it already shows that we are in a space of lack. And from that lack comes the desire. Then from that desire comes an expectation. And from that expectation comes another more desires and expectation. And so we are always spiraling in that. We rarely get the chance to come out of this well. We are always either pulling somebody down, or we are trying to climb out, but we cannot climb out because somebody is pulling us down. So we are like the frog of the well, that we do not allow others to come up, and we don't let ourselves also to come up. And it's a very amazing story of the man in the cave, in the philosophy that we learn, that we don't want to face the light. We are always facing it with our back. And that is what they keep us engaged with. And that is why we have so much. And the money also that has been brought onto this planet is has kept us engaged, has kept us in that small little well of us that we don't want to come out from. And it is You can say that they may never leave the planet. However, because the earth grids are changing, you have the choice to be in this earth, or you can continue being in this earth where you are currently, because you will have, or you may have heard people saying that, oh, was I here right now? Because we are rebirthing ourselves again and again, because there is a new earth that is already there. And we tend, when in our meditative state or in our higher vibration, when you're in happy state, we are in that grid. And when we come and we are not happy, or we are worried about money, or we are worried about our life, we are worried about our health, we are onto this earth. So we are simultaneously existing in both grids.
That is so fascinating. And I love that. And I know that that resonates with so many because we know New Earth is here. And you have just confirmed that from your wisdom and your insight. And we've also heard from the Arcturians and so many other beings that New Earth is a frequency. And so the frequency of this love and compassion and joy and happiness, that is the frequency. I love it. I love that you just confirmed that. And isn't it wild that we are literally in a moment's notice flip-flopping? We can flip-flop back and forth.
Yes.
Boy, okay, so as we, so then the light language is assisting us into New Earth, into the New Earth codes. And I know you've got an activation for us, a little sampling of that, more light language from you. But what do you say is the task at hand on this journey of amplifying, embracing our clairs, and really placing our feet on the New Earth grid? Um, so for you, for example, do you ever find yourself kind of off the New Earth grid, and what do you do?
So I feel like if we, when we start letting ourselves in the acceptance, that's the biggest place that we need to begin with. Is my personal understanding, when we are in the acceptance of our, and we are allowing us to remember, the journey may not seem easy. It's different for different people depending on what we are doing. But if we have the ability and we have given ourselves the permission, it's all about the permission. The duality of this planet is all about the permission that we can give ourselves. From the permission comes our willingness to move forward, or to imbibe, or be in that new earth, or in the new frequency. And here is going to be a biggest thing, because there is going to be a lot of fear that will come up, because, oh, will my family be with me? Will my spouse or my partner be associated with me? Will I become alienated? The biggest fear that humans carry in them is that the fear of being alone. And it's such a contradiction that you come alone, you die alone, you take a first breath and you'll take the last breath. There is everything in between is such a facade. However, the whole of life, human try and want to be engaged, associated, and attached. And their entire life then is again spent in detaching. I feel like when we come into the awareness of it, that when I am going to lead a life that is going to empower me, and my journey on this spectrum is of moving or ascending, my soul or my higher self needs to be nurtured and nourished. I think that's when we will start these how of things, and these things that make us stuck, or they don't allow us to move forward, will start dissolving. And you will hear me say a lot dissolving, because that's the word that we need to start imbibing. Because when we start saying let go or release or lose, it's very higher possibility of it to come back, attach and reattach itself with vengeance, in fact. So when we start saying that I'm going to dissolve this aspect of me to be in this space or in this frequency, and I'm going to work towards it, and trust. And the biggest keyword, in fact, the word trust was given to me as a keyword in 2018 2020, 2018 is when I started being told about how important the word trust is. And every time when there is a something that is happening in my life, I am always circling back to the word trust. And we will be tested, we will be looked at, how are we managing ourselves with the word trust, and are we really imbibing in it, or are we just, we are loosely saying let's trust, but what does it mean to us, and how are we developing that, because it's an acquired frequency. It is an acquired taste that we need to feel about it. So it's new. It's going to take time for us.
I love that. And I suggest that everyone watching put that on a sticky note, develop trust. And so wherever we are, trusting that we have this within us, trusting that wisdom, that knowingness that comes to us at first glance, that frequency, trusting that knowingness. And then it's like a muscle, right? Where we build it and it becomes stronger and it accesses the frequencies more quickly when we practice it and develop it. Wow, I absolutely love that. Okay. It's interesting when we think of like worry, we can
Mhm.
trust 111% in our worry, right? So
Yes.
why, so then and we can say, okay, Anunnaki, great, you did your job there. So now we need to flip that and we need to just say the trust that we have, we need to 100% trust in what we know, in what we can sense.
It's
So
very
I just find that
interesting.
fascinating.
It's very interesting when you say that, because we trust that we nobody's taking care of us fully. So we
Uh-huh.
know how to trust. It's only what is that we want to trust.
Yeah, we know how to trust our worry or our doubt. That's a
Yes.
hundred. That's like full on tilt, right? But what about the other trust? So again, developing trust is really worthy. I think that's a key takeaway of all of this, trusting our intuition. So as we develop these clairs, they tend to come up in hindsight, right? So we can say, all right, I remember getting in my car and not taking my umbrella when I heard take the umbrella. The idea popped in, take the umbrella. And then now here I am in a downpour. That hindsight is what helps us develop the trust. How do we get ahead of it? Do you have any advice on that?
Uh, One thing that I was also been what's coming in is all of us in certain lifetimes have had a power and a knowing, and some of them, or rather some of the humans, were burned down for that knowing. And so in this new earth, or the new frequency, or in developing our clairs, we need to you know allow ourselves to know that this is what I really need to imbibe, because we were and that's where is going to be our ascension. So when there was a witch hunt that went on, or I have come across so many clients of mine that they are afraid to charge people, or they are afraid to express that they have this ability, because there is a fear of being brought down or ridiculed or
Yeah.
self-sabotaging energy. when
Hmm.
when those energies are so strong, the lighter energies, which is of clairs, they get choked in these areas. So it's a disconnection that happens. And so the minute we start, so if I have to start practicing, just maybe even for just 2 minutes, concentrating on my aura, or on my, or just closing my eyes, even it's so difficult to close your eyes. So even just you can just close your eyes just for 2 minutes, and then allow whatever comes up. All thoughts will come up. And I find it really sometimes when you're doing a meditation practice and you're doing a guided meditation, and the person says, don't pay attention to the thoughts, is that's exactly the time my thoughts will go to pay attention to the thoughts. So allowing all of this to come through, allowing all these energies to come through, and start releasing them, or start developing this thing that I can stay here for 2 minutes, and then next day again I can stay here for 2 minutes, and for 5 minutes, and then for 20 minutes, and so on and so forth. It's a practice, because you have to remember, and the minute you start practicing it, the memory will start playing, or you'll start remembering things, and then that becomes your muscle memory, and that becomes creates a lot of ability to see beyond. So first, I think recognizing that it is okay for me to do that, and then start focusing. I think one of the important thing is to focus. It may not be easy, but practice and constant practice will really uplift and bring in more and more awareness of things.
Okay, thank you. That is doing the work, practicing, not just clearing out and dissolving any of those programs and dense energies, but practicing, practicing, practicing. I love it. Thank you. Your words are so full of wisdom and brightness, and it's so nourishing, actually. Thank you so much. So, let's do a little mini activation with you. You do light language. You bring light language through, as we heard, and it's very exquisite. And this is from your home planet. Before we get to that, what do you know about your home planet? Can you describe? Are you shown visions of the bodies that are there? Are they human form? Um, what do you know about that? And is it in a different universe or galaxy? Different galaxy, but what do you know?
So it's thank you for asking this question. Actually, it's the first time I'll be ever speaking about it. Um, so I had whenever I used to do close my eyes, or I used to meditate, the first thing that I would see is a lot of darkness. And when you're meditating and people see colors, I see dark, I see black. And I had this question, and I used to wonder what it means. Like, is there something that I need to dwell into it? And I knew that there are going to be answers that I get through this black or void, and through various Akashic galactic sessions with a friend, and through a lot of beautiful people out there who have helped me. I was actually able to see where I come from. So I don't come from this universe or the galaxies or the cosmos, but there is a cosmos which is like a twin cosmos to this cosmos. And there are planets, and then there is a huge hub, which is a tree hub, and there is a lot of energy out there in that place. And it's the as I have been given to understand, and I have gone through the process, uh, I bring in a lot of energy to this planet Earth, because our Earth, this home planet that is mine at this moment, needed healing in the tree of life of this planet. And so where I come from, there are beings of life, there are non-physical as well as there are physical form. They uh they do not appear to be very human, but they do have a lot of I do see a lot of activity that happens when I go there. And I have been asked to keep coming there more often, now that I am now aware of, and now that they know of me. And I get relayed about my work that I need to do on the planet. And um, and it's amazing that I was not aware that the language of light that I speak actually comes from the cosmos that I came from. I always thought that I was speaking from the Acturians, and I was speaking from the Antares, or I was speaking from the Lyra gateways. It was very recent that I was actually showed that how I entered the cosmos of this cosmos was through the Antares. And through the Antares, I came to the Vega, and from through Vega, I came in, and I created a lot of. I was in a non-physical form for a very long time, before I decided to come onto earth. But before that, I created a lot of work, and I've created a lot of schools. And there is one of the schools of which is called the School of Silence that I have been reinitiated and reintroduced on earth. So there is a lot of work that I do with souls, and a lot of you can say reconfiguration of the soul's DNA. And that is why when I work on earth in this reality, I work on the core wound of beings, because when you heal the core wound, and when you become lighter and lighter, is when you can allow the energy to flow in with ease. So when you are, and that's where I would wonder why is that I concentrate so much on the core wounds, and why is that I'm made to look into a childhood memory. Or even if I'm not looking at the childhood memory, I know that there is a lot of work that is happening at the core wound to be healed, so that the person can breathe in fresh and vibrant, and activation of the DNA becomes faster. The light codes that come in becomes more, they can remove the imprint, they can really heal the imprint. And all of us carry imprints, not only from the Anunnakis but from the Draconians. And we also have a lot of belief system that really forges it even further, like concretizing it every time. So through the light language, I know that it is like as I was explained in one of the session, was that the light language that comes is like, it's like needles. It's like just biting into it, so that it can extract whatever is not required for the human DNA any longer, and also to awaken the dormant DNA, so that the light codes can start mingling, and you can connect to your higher light, and embrace the higher being that we are. So yeah, that's the little bit I can speak about at this moment.
Oh, so fascinating. Zeenat, you are amazing. Thank you for sharing that story and for really explaining light language. So we're ready for that. We are ready to be really connected to our higher self and the frequencies that we are ready to bring on to New Earth, anchor into New Earth. So thank you for this. Okay, so let's go into an activation then. We want to feel some of this.
Umiyatai tilahishala. Garapayata marapelo yutolo tospisala yanani kitolo kutola laki iti italala katanata. Makuyata mahishayu talabi tuzi salabi nukutulu kutanata. So as you give yourself the permission to release the stress, mukuyatayata hisheleya tonokoto payatala, makuyatala pe esheya sayakololuyatala pe yetanamokutalarata. And as you give yourself the permission to release everything, tayutala pe yetonokuta, that you've held yourself so close. And so even though you can see your new reality, and wherever it is that you fear to face your new reality. Releasing it now. Aku rukutu urukutu ulurukutu nukutu lurukutu nukutu lurukutu 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 nukutu lurukutu nukutu rukutu nukutarata. Nasata yatara yatana katalara katara tukutu lurukutu asayatana katapalarakata. And this energy is now moving from the base of your spine into the earth. Tariyaturukutu yudunumukutu rukutu piyudunumukutu pukutu ruki yudunukutu rukutu rukutu larakata, activating your soul chakras. Namukutupu yudun mukutupu yudun mukutu rukutupu lurukutupu yedana makatapa larakata etarakata nakatarakata rakata. Imi kitu yudun mukutu lurukutu yetana katapakatapa yedana makatapa larakata. Nakutu rukutu rukutu lurukutu 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 rukutu 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 rukutarata. Nasayatanakatanakato yudunukutu. And as I say that, tamakiti yudunu mukutu pulurukutu mukutu lurukutu purukutu lurukutu lurukutu lurukutu. And with every breath that you take in and breathe out, uyatanamanamakato lurukutu 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 lurukutu, you're creating more and more space. Ilarakata yadanamahanamakato lurukutu yuturukutu lurukutu. Asha yatanahanakata yatanahanakata yatanakata. Asa yatanahanamakato lurukutu. Orunutu yudunukutu. Orukutu yudunumukutu pulurukutu mukutu pulurukutu. Ashisayadana, Ashisayadana, Ashisayadana makatapalara makatalara. Releasing all stress, all fatigue, all exhaustion of life on multiple lives. Larakata makatapalara makatapalara katanokutu lurukutu lurukutu lurukutu. Atikitu rukutu lurukutu 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 nukutu lurukutu 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 kutu kurukutu nukutu rukutu 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 nukutu rukutu. Relaxing your nervous system. Kadamakatabakatapakatapagia tanamakatapakato. Ikitipikiti lurukutu nukutu lurukutu nukutu lurukutu. Ashasara nanakatalara katamakatalara katamakatalara katanakatarata. O makatapalara katonukutu lurukutu 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 nukutu rukutu nukutu lurukutu nukutu rukutu nukutarata. Nakutu rukutu 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 lurukutu 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 nakasa. Amura nama nama namukutu lurukutu. Amuna mana munu munu mana mana makatapalara katonukutu. Amta yata namakatapalara katamakatapalara katamakatapalara katanakatanata. Gamayana Shasana Yanahanakata. Ashasa Yatanahanakatulurukutu. Ashasa Yahanahana Kuturukutu. Amukutu Lurukutu. Apura Hatana Hanamakatapalarakatamahanamakatalaraka. Amukutu Pulurukutu. Aparapatakapalarakapalarakapalarakapalarakapalarakapalarakapalarakapalarakatanakatalarakanata. Releasing all distractions. Expanding your heart energy. Expanding the energy in your higher heart. Asa tara katara tara kata tara katana katara katana katara katarata. Adu akatalara. And as I speak, ulurukutunukuturukuturukutu, your entire nervous system is being activated. Kitipikiturukutupikitikiturukuturukuturukuturukuturukutu, akuturukuturukuturukuturukuturukuturukuturukuturukuta, ashisatitipitipiyutunumuturukuturukuturukutu. Now, ikitirikiudunumukuturukuturukuturukutuparakataparakataparakata, parakataparakatunukuturukuturukuturukuturukutu, your DNA is getting activated. All the dominant DNA is being activated. Now, Ashasana nanamakatapalarakatanakarata. Ashasana makatapalarakatanarakatapalarakatanarakatalarakata. Amuna hana. Amuna hana. Amuna hana hana. Keto yoto nokoto lorokoto. Amuna mahana 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 makata. Amuna mana mana manakata. Ruraha sara harara hanakatarata. Ura harara harara. All imbalances release, dissolve. Karamakatabalaraka, energy centers much activated, balance. Ilerekete yata nakata namukutulurukutunukutunukutunukutarata. Makata pakata palarakata mikitulurukutu makata pakata palarakata nakatalarakato nuku ari ati alarani yana na 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 hana katanata. Ariana na 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 haninkanata. Ananakata ashaharata va ashaharata. Ura hana hana. Ura hana hana kata ashaharata. Ashakito yodono honumukutulurukuturukutanakata. Situ rukuturukuta, situ rukuturukuturukuturukuturukuturukuturukutu. Situ rukuturukuturukuturukuturukuturukuturukuturukutaraparakanakata. Ashasara hanakatarata. Ashasara. Ikitulurukutulurukutu. All energies of self-sabotaging stored in any and every aspect of you within your 100 trillion cells, giving yourself the permission to release, dissolve that now. Kuryutonomukutulurukutumukutulurukutumukutulurukutumukutulurukutu. Assamakatapalarakatamakapalarakatamakapalarakatamakapalarakatamakapalarakatam. Itunukuturukutumakatapekituyudonomukutulurukutu. Usharata. Usharata. Ashata tipikitiko o rukutu. Assanakatarakatakasanakatarakatanakutu. Mahana makatulurukutunukuta. Mukurukunukurukurukutunukatanata. Aharata. Umukurukuta mahana mas shisana katanata. Gentle breath in and out. Tukutiya tanakati rukutu nukutulu rukutulu rukutanakata. Kiki rukutu nukutulu rukutulu rukutulu rukutu rukutu. Releasing all alarakatana, dissolving all tarakatana katarakata disconnections. Ilirikiti, lirikiti, lirikiti, lirikiti. Rukutulu 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 rukutu. Creating a safe passage. Tanikitalu rukutu nukutalarakata. Bringing the pillar of light and integrating. Asatatati isatatatarikito no tahatanakatanata. Guhasha samahana mahana mugutu. Gentle breath in and breathing it out. Tukuyaha shayaha shaya. Utukuyaha shayaha. Ularaha shayaha sahala. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We can feel those frequencies, and there's such a calm peace here. Isn't that fascinating? It's just no words. There's just an awareness, an expansiveness, and peace, and an open heart. Thank you, Zeenat.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Okay. So we can feel the power of light language. As you mentioned, it's allowing more light in, it's allowing this expansiveness and dissolving old structures that just are in our way, that block us. So just a little taste of this has shifted us and lifted us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm truly hoping that all who receive this can feel a deeper sense of trust and knowingness. So this is beautiful. Now, you do light language. You do a lot of workshops. You've done many on New Earth One Network, and we are so grateful for those. And there's a way that people can amplify their clairs, awaken and align and amplify their clairs even more. And that's why you're going to be doing a couple of live shows, a couple of live workshops with light language. Can you tell us more about that? That's the special offer that's available here where you're watching this page, where you're watching this show. But what's going to happen in these workshops?
So this time I was asked to look at to divide the workshop into two aspects. And the entire purpose of it is to deep dive into the entire clairs and all the clairs that are there, because I'm of the opinion and I believe that each of us, all of us, have these clairs right there, and they are just waiting for us to tap into them and connect to our higher dimensions. So the first session is going to focus on releasing all emotional blocks, all kind of hidden or all kind of blocks that do not allow us to look into our true beingness. And all of this, which is coming through the traumas that are coming through the fears. So I'm going to be first session of 60 to 90 minutes is just going to be looking into clearing. Like it's going to be just clearing. Maybe I might be only talking the light language and just doing the clearing. And the second one is to awaken and to activate. So once you have gone through the entire process of, it's like, you've gone into the factory reset boot. So I'm going to reboot, and I'm going to be then bringing in the activation so that you can embrace, and the shift that will take place through that will bring you into your new reality, into multidimensional being that we are. So that's why I'm so excited about these sessions. And it's about also allowing each one to tap into the inner wisdom. It's like, as I say, that we call ourselves human beings and forget that we are beings. We are as subtle and as light bodies and as crystalline as we look at beings of light that we talk about as guardians, angels, or other beings that come into our space. But we forget that we are also that being, but just humanized. But however, we are now in a crystalline form, and we are going to become more and more intuitive. We are going to be more and more into our going beyond our blinkers. We are going to look into more into 360 degrees. So that's what is going to happen through these two workshops.
Beautiful. Thank you. Now, you are doing these at special times, and I think it works because for those who are here in the United States or in this time zone, and even in Europe, it is early in the morning, and that could be a really good time to receive this as well. And if the time doesn't work out, they are recorded, so people can still benefit from that. So it's really wonderful and a beautiful opportunity. I just want to mention that the link for that is in the description box on YouTube, or of course on this page where you're watching this program. Zeenat, thank you for doing this and just your whole wisdom of your beingness. You are a being of light. We're all beings of light. I loved your story of from another universe, like a parallel, you're from the multiverse. So that's fascinating. And when you said you spent time, much time as a non-physical being, this beautiful image behind you, it it's almost like that's you. I see you as that. I don't know if you intended that with this image, but this is you. And it's almost like you're an angel. There's this angelic figure, it seems. And so, what are your thoughts on that? Similar?
It's so beautiful. Thank you very much. This was since my beautiful marketing team, they create a lot of AI images these days,
Uh-huh.
and they keep changing the wallpaper, and they say that, oh, this suits you this today, and they asked me that what was the call about, and I told them about the Claire's. And they said, "Oh, this looks nice." Like, I was like, "Okay, if you say so." But it is beautiful, and it's all of these images also that are created are very intuitively created, and so I just love them too. So thank you for that. I will definitely tell the team for their work. Thank you very
Yeah, somehow we were in the quantum space and they just somehow knew what you were going to be talking about because it was absolutely perfect. I really loved it.
thank you. Thank
Okay.
you very much. Thank you.
All right. Well, we are excited for New Earth. And so here we are on the forefront of a new year. Do you have any thoughts? Here we're coming up into the solstice as well. Any final thoughts about this time on the planet and any direction or advice or wisdom for navigating at this time?
As we are at the end of the year 2024, which was the year of karma, 8, and Saturn has also gone direct, Mercury is going to go direct. We are in the space of expansion to the next level because 2025 is all about spiritual awakening. And so this month, especially this month, is going to bring up, in small bits, but it's going to have an amplified, you can say, reality for us. So we need to be mindful about the choices that we will make, and it's the yes universe, and so we need to be very clear of what we are asking. And with because it's going to be all about the truth, because Mercury is going to say speak, and when we go into the winter solstice, is going to be all about, it's a palindrome, so everything that I'm going to do or believe is going to amplify. So we need to be very aware of that. And also, this few days is still given to us so that we can do course correction. We don't need 100 of years. With the kind of quantum leap that we are being taking, every decision can really be done in a jiff. We don't need 100 of years to come and do those things. So even if it feels like, oh, there is only 20 days left for the year to end, it's more than enough for us to make decisions, for us to get into our it's, I think it's more about being in the acceptance of what it is, and then just making a call on that. It's going to help us in 2025 big time, because 2025 is the year of spiritual awakening. And as I tell my clients sometimes, is that if we don't decide, the universe will decide for us, and then it will be a roller coaster ride. So the choice is ours.
We take that choice, okay? So
Yes.
that is beautiful for everyone watching, because everyone watching or listening to this is absolutely a guide on this, a guide to help others. So buckle up, everyone, and just say yes and get ready to speak. It reminds me of when we started this show and my little throat thing. That activation was an upgrade in all of us speaking truth, speaking love, speaking compassion, speaking frequencies, and maybe even more to be revealed from all of that. Thank you for this. We're feeling really, really good and really empowered. Thank you so much, Zeenat.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much, Lorraine. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for your bright light. Your love matters. And you know that now so much more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.